Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm giving you guys a tutorial on a little cut crease look using the Jaclyn Hill palette. Um, so of course, before I started this video, I prepped my face, I washed it, I moisturized, and all that good stuff. So of course, to start off, I went ahead and I primed my face using my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. For this video, I went ahead and I did my eyebrows off camera just to keep this video as short as possible, because yeah, it was really long. I need to get the heck of this. So I primed my lids with my Too Faced primer when I did my eyebrows so that I wouldn't have to like use any extra primer or anything. And I set it using the banana powder in the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. So when I like to do my makeup, my eyes, I like to start off with transition colors like orange or brownish colors. So I started off with the color Silk Cream from the palette. I focused it mainly in my crease using the Wet n Wild blending brush. As you can see, I am showing you guys the colors that I'm using. So yeah, I like to start off with transition colors, which is the orange and browns. That helps like build you up to get to the darker colors, so that so it doesn't look like you just started off with that dark color. It just helps fade everything in and helps everything blend easier. If you notice, I go eye by eye, meaning whatever I do on one eye, I do it on the other. Like I don't do one eye, like I don't finish one eye off first and then go to the other. This helps get like better results on both eyes and have both eyes looking as identical as possible. So after that shade, I went into the shade MFEO, and again I focused that into my crease using the same Wet n Wild brush. So after that shade MFO, I took up the shade Creamsicle and I again focused that into my crease and just kept blending and blending until I felt I had the color that I wanted. I like to work myself up from the lightest color to the darkest orange just to have that like nice transition going, and then I go in with the dark color that I want to use. It just helps, getting that flow together. So after that shade, I went into the shade Butter with a clean brush, and I just kept blending and blending until I felt like everything was nice and same, and I got the blend or like the color payoff that I wanted. So next, I take the shade Roxanne on a smaller blending brush from Real Technique, and I just like to focus that mainly in the crease, like right in the crease. The other shades I was focusing it in the crease, but not as like I was more free-handed with where I would place the color. With this shade, I decided that I wanted to place it only in the crease, just so that I can get that like sharp, like the color would be in more I guess you can say detail in that area. So next, I wasn't sure what color to use, but I just went with the shade right next to that one that's called Jax. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Just again to get that, just to make it as darker as possible. And again, with the same brush, I'm just focusing it into the crease, breeze. Oh my god, into the crease to make the color as intense as possible. The key to this look, I would say, is just to keep blending and blending until you feel like you have the until you feel like you have as much color as you want, and until you feel like everything is coming together the way that you want it. Just remember that makeup is any like you can do makeup however you want and however you feel comfortable. There's no right way or wrong way to do anything. As long as you feel like it's fine, it's okay. So after I blended out the color Jax into my to my crease, I went in with the same color again, and I was trying to like wing it out so that, because normally when I do a cut crease and I cut the crease with the liner, I wing it out to the I guess you can say I wing it out like if I'm doing a liner, but that didn't really work out, so I just left it the same. So after I added more color, I went in with the brush that I used to put in the shade butter and creamsicle, and I just went into butter again and just to make sure that everything was blended and there was no harsh lines in between the darker colors and the lighter colors. So then I take my Tarte Shape Tape concealer with a really small pencil brush just to carve out the crease. It's kind of like a wing liner but just on the crease. So I like to take the product from off of the doe foot applicator and just go literally like right along the crease and, like I said, wing it out. I try to make the line as straight as possible, just so that it doesn't really look crooked. But what I like to do is I take the dark shade that I used, for example in this look I used the shade Jax and the shade Roxanne, and I just take the Real Techniques brush, the smaller blending brush, and I just kind of go over same place where I put that color, just to make the place, just to make the line where I put the concealer, basically to cut the crease, just to like smooth that out a little bit so it's not so harsh and it just looks more natural than if it's just like literally like I just cut the crease. I just try to make it look as natural as possible. And after I do all of that, I take another Wet n Wild brush. It's like a big eyeshadow brush. It's just a flat brush, and I wet it with my Mario Badescu spray. And I take the shade Sissy, and I just pack it onto my lid. I wet it just so that I can get as much color payoff as I can from the color. I feel like with metallic colors, it's better when you wet it so that the color pops more. So I just pack it onto the lid wherever I apply the concealer, and again, I kind of wing it out just so that it can have that little cut crease look. One thing I found really hard about this specific shade, I don't know if all the other shimmer shades are like that because I haven't tried all of them out, but I felt like I had to kind of like scrape the shade to get as much color or as much pigment off of the color. Like I felt like me just putting the brush onto the shade or the color wasn't really helping me get as much color. Like I had to literally like kind of scrape the color to get as much of the color to like show up on my eyes. But it might be wrong. I might be wrong. It just might be something wrong with the brush, or I might have just wet the brush a little too much. I will try again to use this palette to see, and try using this color or another color just to see if it was maybe just this shade in the palette, or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. So again, just so that there's no harsh lines or anything, I go right back in with that shade Jax and the Real Techniques brush, and I blend everything out. Now this time when I am using the brush, I do kind of wing it out at this point because I kind of already have that shape in my eye with the glitter shimmer shade that I use. So now I'm taking my Wet n Wild liquid liner, and I'm just doing a regular winged liner. This is very hard. I just recently learned how to do it. So if you guys want to see a tutorial on that, or like a tutorial just on my eyebrows, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to make a video. I hope you guys remember from my last video, yes, the space is horrible, my lighting is horrible. Just please work with me until I am able to, get better equipment and a better space to record. But yes, just doing my regular liner like I always do. It kind of cuts off the part where I winged out my cut crease, but that was kind of the point, just to cover that up with the liner eventually. With my Too Faced foundation and using my fancy sponge to blend everything out. I'm done blending everything out, I go in with my Tarte Shape Tape concealer and I just place the concealer on the high points of my face. And once I'm done placing it there, I just blend everything out again. After I'm done blending in my concealer, I take my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Espresso and I just put this wherever I would contour. I normally do not cream contour. I always just like bronze up my face with the Kat Von D Shading Light palette. But since I felt like this was like a full glam look, I was like, hey, why not contour? Well, why not cream contour? Because I always kind of contour. So I just placed it on my jawline, my cheekbones, and my forehead. I don't like to contour my nose. I feel like my nose is fine. I feel like I don't have to do anything to it to make it smaller. And in a way, I kind of don't really know where I would contour my nose specifically for my nose. I know that you go along the bridges of your nose and stuff, but for my nose, I specifically wouldn't know where to put it to make it look smaller or better. So, like normal, I take the Shading Light palette, the banana powder in the middle, place that underneath my eyes and wherever I highlighted, and then I take the two darkest shades in the palette, and I carve out my cheeks and stuff. Wherever I place the concealer, I put those two dark shades. I was laughing because as I'm doing this voiceover, I'm watching the video and I poked myself in the eye with the brush. I am so clumsy. You guys don't even. So next I go and I do my bottom lashes. So I go right back into the palette and I take the shade Jack once again with the Kat Von D Shading Light eye brush, and I just place that right in my waterline. And then I use a smaller side to put the color on, and then I believe I used the same brush or the Real Techniques brush to just blend everything out to make it smoother. And after I did all of that, I take a Wet n Wild eyeliner. It's like a cream color. I'm not sure exactly what color it is. I don't have it in front of me right now. And I just line my bottom, my water. I'm done lighting my waterline, I take my mascara and of course do my little trick, putting the mirror under me and looking down just so I won't get any mascara on my eyelid. And then from my bottom lashes, placing the mirror up and looking up. So I take a wipe and I try to like just wipe off any excess makeup that I have like under my like liner, just a little bit, so that I won't wipe up any makeup. Then I take my fan brush that I got from like this brush set. I don't really know the brand or anything, it doesn't have a name. I wet it with my Mario Badescu spray, and I take my Becca highlighter in the shade Opal and just place that on the high points of my face, my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose. I didn't do under my eyebrows this time, I believe. My Cupid's bow, and I do the little Carly Bible exclamation point. Well, try to. Since I dirtied my pencil brush, I couldn't really use it this time to get it down the bridge of my nose like I did in my last video. Yeah, I got some highlight in my eyebrows, so I just used my spoolie to kind of like brush everything out and make sure that nothing was there. So after I did all of that, I got my Maybelline. I was using a color by Maybelline, so I have this lip liner from Maybelline, and I just used that is kind of almost the same shade as the lipstick. I couldn't find it, so I can't tell you guys the exact shade of it, but it's just like a nude, like a pinkish nude neutral shade. And then I used the Maybelline, their new matte nudes that, well, they're not new, like they came out I believe like last year, the shade 570. And then I just used my Mario Badescu spray to set my whole face, and used my little mirror to just fan everything off, just to make sure everything was dry and set. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. Like I said, I am doing my best to get everything together and just to get better lighting and better space. But I hope you guys really enjoyed, and you guys keep coming back for more videos. At the end, I inserted a few pictures just showing the final look with like in actual pictures, because I didn't get to get a close-up. So thank you guys for watching.